all should have received the email that kind of went over the family projects for the Healthy Living Expo that we're gonna have. That, again, is April 22nd, which happens to be Earth Day. So that is where the students and families will present their project that they work on over the course of the rest of this school year. We are going to have it at the Clearmont County Fairgrounds, so we have a big venue. We have some big plans and ideas for it. We visited a health fair over the summer and met up with the chief nursing officer for Clearmont and Anderson Mercy Hospital, and she's going to help us get some services for our event. And so we'll have a mammography mobile unit and the Hawksworth blood van there for those that want to donate blood. We'll have, they also have a program that does some recycling with their supplies. So that's kind of cool that we can, she's going to help us with, the different components of our health fair. And we'll also have some nurse navigators that will help with heart health and what's the other one? It was heart health, lung health, and someone to follow up with the breast screenings. Yes. So, and that's just what we know for sure, but there could be other things that we have as well. We want to have a couple of healthy food trucks. So maybe like a smoothie truck we're trying to get. We can't really get a hold of them until after the first of the year, or have them scheduled until then. So we'll have that. For our students, we want to have some other food choices. I mean, you can certainly pack their food for that day, but we'll have, maybe selling pizza for $1 with, some veggies or whatever. We're going to kind of keep it a little bit healthy. But maybe cheese pizza, or somebody had mentioned getting some Chick-fil-A sandwiches that we could, have cheaply. So that would be really cool. That is a day where the kids will be spending a good part of the day. Sometimes we'll have the younger kids come a little later, but we usually run like from about 5 o'clock would be when our event would start to about 8. And this lady who's helping us, I can't tell you how nice she is, but I was a little concerned because it was after working hours, and she was like, Miss Kelly, she said, healthcare is 24/7. So she was more than willing to provide these services for us for whatever time we needed. So that was really great.
Usually the end of the year programs are on Thursdays. So with it being on a Wednesday this year, the kids will not come to school that Thursday following, Wednesday the 23rd. So no school the 23rd, they'll just be
That
on
Wednesday,
fairgrounds on that Wednesday.
it'll count for that
Yeah,
one day
it'll
of
count for
school.
that Thursday at school.
And we really tried to finalize our calendar as much as possible, but the fairgrounds availability made us have to change that day. So it was something that we really didn't have a choice in.
We really
It's
wanted
worked
to have
out,
it
it's
there.
perfect, so.
Yeah, and if the weather is not very good, then we have the covered building. So it's going to be the community building on the ground. So it's the one that has the garage doors on either end. So it's open, and then they'll have the exhibits on both sides. And then we'll try to have some things outside as well, especially if the weather's nice. Maybe a parkour course or something involved with movement where the kids can try out or guests can try out. We always try to encourage families to invite as many extended family as possible. We're going to open it up and advertise to the larger community so we can get as many attendees. The focus is it's a learning event for our kids. Like, they get to be proud of something that they've worked on and the learning that they have gained throughout the process. But it's also, it is also a fundraising event. So, and it brings awareness to our school. So those that come from the outside community get to learn a little bit about our school. They get to see, how the kids learn and research and present. And I think that's what they've been most impressed with in the past, is just the kids presenting and being confident in what they're talking about and knowing their stuff.
Yeah, and then to show that off too.
They do.
What they've been working on all year. And also the classes individually will be making items out of recycled materials and selling them as a fundraiser too.
That will be a teacher thing.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about that.
I don't have to worry about that.
But that'll be available, like grandparents and stuff, I'm sure.
Are they doing that at Annex too, making stuff out of?
Yes.
Recycled stuff and stuff?
Annex as well, yeah. So that'll be up to the teacher to decide, so whatever she thinks the class could make to sell. But I'm sure if you as a parent have an idea for the teacher, feel free to share that.
Yeah, I was just gonna mention too, you may wanna see if they're willing to put it on their Facebook page.
Absolutely.
Because they do a lot of.
Yes,
Yeah, like their
somebody had mentioned that, maybe it was you or,
Yeah, it
okay.
wasn't me, but that would be a great
Okay,
idea.
for
because
sure.
there are a lot of people.
The other little thing we talked about was doing maybe either a health passport or kind of a scavenger hunt to where attendees can come and get a paper that has all the exhibits on it, and then they can get it stamped when they go around, or get a sticker from each exhibit. That way, it encourages more attendees to visit all the exhibits, because sometimes you'll have, some kids will get a lot of visitors and others might not get so much, but this way it would encourage more people to hit more of the stations. So then it does say, like, some of the things we might give is little rewards at the end if they get their paper filled. And then if you wanna check on page 2, this kind of goes over a little bit of what was listed in the email, just to kind of reiterate, let's see. Just about the kids, it being the kids' project more. You're there to guide and support and help, make sure they get the resources that they need. But ultimately, if somebody else does it for them, that big day is not gonna be as meaningful or as special. You sure
So-
can.
If you have a family, this is a family project. So unfortunately, I have a 10th grader, a 6th grader, and a 4th grader. So each of my children are going to have a key component that they're going to be working on within this project. So my 4th grader's work is going to look like a 4th grader's work. I'm not going to expect my 10th grader and my 4th grader to do the same level of work. Does that make sense? So we want it to look like, if you have a preschooler, and let's say you talk about dental health, Constance, I keep using Constance, this is what happens if you sit in the first row, I'm sorry, can demonstrate like how long you brush your teeth, or she can talk about maybe, advantages or why it's good to brush your teeth in a preschooler's version, which people will eat up. So just be mindful of that. I know as parents sometimes you look at a project and you're like, oh, you want to kind of step in and polish it a little, but this is really, we want this to be the students' work. We want them to be proud of what they're doing, and we want them to be able to explain it in their own words. So of course I'm going to expect more from my 10th grader than I am from my 4th grader, but they each can have a key element that they're able to do and complete within that age group. Is that okay?
Makes sense.
Yeah, and Oh, yeah, so, yeah, if you do have a preschooler, you might think this is a big undertaking to do a project, or if you have one child in the school, you can team up with another family that might have one student. We're encouraging it to do class-wise, right?
Yes.
Just to try and stay in your same class, or the same preschool, they're both preschools. So if you do have one child in the school, I would get with your teacher and see what other families only have one child, so you can team up if you wanna do the projects together. You're able to do that.
Absolutely.
Well, the first deadline would be next Tuesday.
So,
Technically, yes.
We'd like next Tuesday for the topic, have your topic. And our advice is to maybe have 2 or 3 options that your family is interested in, because classes are gonna keep running lists, and we are trying not to have so many duplicates. So, if you pick dental health and, somebody in preschool picks dental health, and then, we can say, hey, just so you know, 5 other families are doing this. Maybe you have another option that you wanted to do.
also, you can maybe have a different angle on it though than
Yeah,
somebody else.
yeah.
So it's okay to do something somebody else is doing, but maybe, as teachers, when we find out, multiple families are doing something similar, just to make sure there's maybe a different angle or.
Yeah.
And so those will be reviewed once you submit those. So the original due date was supposed to be on Tuesday, but because our meeting was held so late, if you need Thanksgiving break to think about about this, you have until the Monday we get back from break will be really and truly the due date. But we want those submitted to teachers so that teachers can go through and say, you know, oh, we have 5 families doing dental health. They'll contact you and say, these are really similar, do you have an alternate? And so with over 100 families registered, we're gonna have duplicates.
Right.
We just wanna make sure we don't have 20 dental health exhibits.
Right.
Yeah, and then on the very last page, there are some examples of topics.
And here, this is by no means an exhaustive list. This
No.
is just,
There's
there's
other
so
ones.
many things.
Yeah.
So I would encourage, you're gonna wanna pick something that your student would be interested in, or that's meaningful to them. It could be, you know, from a personal experience. The Sharp family is going to be doing back health and scoliosis screenings because they have a daughter who went through that, that situation. You could, if your child is doing a sport or some kind of a physical fitness class or something, if that really interests them, you know, maybe they could do something on how, you know, what muscles does that activity strengthen? And then they can maybe build a model of a muscle, and then maybe they could do before and after pictures, or they could do, you know, just whatever. There's like some project ideas, or not project ideas, but the components. I've added a few to that, and if there's something else that you think of, don't be shy about coming to your teacher and saying, hey, what about this? So an interview, somebody that had a disease, or that recovered from a disease, a graph, a survey, you know, any of these other things, a model. The younger kids can do a model out of Play-Doh or Legos. Even a sensory bin. I saw a really cool one on Pinterest the other day that was blood. And they just used the little gel, the little water beads, red water beads, and then ping pong balls for the platelets. It's just something really cool like that, you know.
And it doesn't have to be health, it can be, environmental.
Environmental health, yes. Yeah, so, another thought that I had was, and you don't have to follow this, but as they're going along through the process of making these different components, you know, the end component could be something that possibly summarizes what they've learned along the way. So it could be a poster, it could be a trifold, it could be a pamphlet that they hand out. You know, older kids could put together a pamphlet. I have a few examples. Yeah, a few examples I can remember. So, have you all seen the one where it's rethink your drink? It shows the sugar, how much sugar is in a drink. You can do that with snack foods. How much sugar is in a granola bar? How much sugar is in? So then you've got your trifold with your food packages up there, and then next to it, how much sugar is in each one. And then the second thing could be like little glass cups with how much, show representation of how much sugar, and then label the cups. And then the third thing could be maybe, you know, through this, they learn how to go to the grocery store with you and look at food labels and see how much grams of sugar are in different things. And then maybe they could make a pamphlet of, you know, better choices. So that would be something I think like a younger student, even a preschooler could grasp. Your project could answer a question. So for instance, you know, yeah, like when we were talking about the physical fitness, like what muscles does this exercise strengthen, or how do, what's the other one? How do plastics affect the ocean? It could be a statement or just an opinion. So that might help lead your topic in some way by asking a question.
Any questions so far?
So actually the project and stuff, we have our first year here, so we don't know. What exactly is the project for? Like, do they stand like near a table, like a little science fair? Okay, I know it was like they stand up and do presentation.
Yeah.
No, it'll be, you'll be able to walk through everybody's presentation, so you'll have a
Okay.
separate area that you can show off what you guys have learned.
You say it's like 5 to 8. Are they going to be staying there the kids the whole time? Or do they
Preschoolers
actually get to
typically,
do?
yeah.
Yeah.
So we always have an good, great question, Nate. So I know we have a lot of new families this year. So our end of the year learning events are the grand finale to our school year. So everything that we do every day, kids are prepping for this event. And so with a family project, you are going to have with our health expo, there will be stations set up around the venue, and people will come in, the public will come in, they'll go through the stations, but we always let the kids have an opportunity to do a preview. So about an hour before families we open the doors to the public, the students get to walk around and present to one another. With our preschoolers, we typically don't expect them to stay at their table for the full 3 hours. This is a unique event for us. It's the first health expo that we've ever done. But not only is it hands-on, it's interactive in lots of different ways. So as we get closer, each class will say, this is what we're expecting. So for our 3s and 4s, this is what we're expecting time-wise. For our 4s and 5s, this is what we're expecting. So we don't expect a 3-year-old to be able to stand at a table and present for 3 hours. That's completely unrealistic. So you may tag team and say, okay, I'm gonna walk her around and I'll stay at the table and present. Or maybe we come up with a sign or something that says we'll return in however many minutes. I don't know. We'll figure that out. But we're not expecting our 3-year-olds to be standing at a table.
For sure.
In years past, we've done whole class projects for our 3s and 4s in our preschool, and by the end of the night, the teachers are just standing there. The preschoolers have tapped out. So there's definitely age consideration in this. Yeah, no problem. Any other questions?
I just thought of one more thing too, where the different components you can do, even like a game, like a younger kid could put together a little game, and it's something interactive that guests could do at their station, or a puzzle. You know, if they were doing something about the skeletal system, you can go online and find puzzles, or they could draw it, or whatever, and you could, cut it up or laminate it and cut it up and have something that, attendees can put together at their exhibit. I'm thinking of one more thing to say.
That has more than 3 components.
So you can also do more than 3 components. You don't have to stick to 3. So my example for the other one was the ocean thing, I think. So for instance, if you did one on how plastics affect the ocean, you could do, I think it was like a survey of what plastics most people use daily. Do a survey as part of your research. And then you could that could be one component. The other component could be, and you could have like some of the plastics sitting out. The other component could be a graph of, how much plastic? I think the second one was what animals are affected by, ocean animals are affected by that. Yeah, and a graph like showing how many ocean animals die each year due to plastic waste. And then the third thing could be,
One of them was a pamphlet on how to reduce
plastic
going into the ocean.
alternatives for plastic. Yeah. So, you don't have to stick to the 3. If you need to add more components to bring your research and your project full circle, then by all means, add whatever you feel like you need to that.
Will there be Wi-Fi available?
That's a question I will find out. Yes, Michelle?
So on January 20th, obviously once you have your topic, you want us to map out what our 3 components would be. And then January 20th, we would bring to our teachers.
One of your components.
Yes.
Completely. I'm glad you brought that up.
So if we're making a game, as you suggested, you would have the game finished, not just the idea.
Right.
Actually something tangible.
I think, the idea is to keep it so it's not overwhelming or it's not a lot to do at the end. I will mention though, if you're doing a model or something that might be fragile and it's completed, well, first of all, we don't have the space to keep everything here, but you could take a picture and give it to your teacher. That way, something that's fragile can stay put,
Yeah.
so it doesn't get broken. Um,
And you'll notice that the last element is due by March 23rd, which is almost a month before our event. Due dates are really, really important. You may think, oh, we've got all this time, we're fine. Really, and teachers will be helping you to stay accountable and on track with this, because, so this is our family's 6th end of the year learning event, and every year something happens where we're like, thank goodness we had this deadline, thank goodness we have this extra time just to make sure that everything is being completed. And we are here to support and guide as well as teachers. So if there's something that you're working on and you feel like, oh, you know, I really want to do this, but I'm not sure what a good presentation element would be, please feel free to reach out to your teachers, reach out to any of us, and we will help you brainstorm. And you're not just kind of, we're not just saying, here you go, have fun. We're here to support you every step of the way. And so we will be